king is going to reign as long as possible. But usually the best way is the shortest.
Now, I hope somebody hears this, whether or not you guys listening now, or maybe later. I want to talk about a few ideas I've had, one particularly, and the last one is going to be about gold mining. I don't know if anybody's listening, so better than nothing, I guess. Alright. Now, the Oxbow map is pretty cool. Now, there's going to be some people out there. There are actually a lot of people out there that don't particularly like the mission part. Now, what if we made custom maps popular again? You know, have you like a random number, or even something like what Warcraft 2 did, allows you to customize a map. And basically the player is king. If you get what I mean. Allow them to basically have full creator mode. Allow them to, you know, create harbors, shipping lanes. I don't know if that's possible. I know it's a lot, but I think it can be done. Also, I know y'all got stone buildings in the works. But
just leave it all and become a bandit.
basically, what am I trying to say? Something like that. Oh, I had it all worked out in my head. There was an anime I was watching. I'm not sure if anybody saw it. Let me find the name of it. I don't even know if you can hear me. It's called Farming Life in Another World. Now, you could utilize that without the fantasy force, but you can basically drop the player in the middle of a giant forest, give them the right tools they need, and they have to forge and build everything from the first hut down to, well, technically we already do that anyway. So why not take it a step further? This right here, that right there would basically give the player full creative abilities to basically be king or queen of their own village. Or area of the map. I'm not sure if y'all like that idea or not. But I know some people. Now, another idea I've had is, did I somehow sell those? Hang on a minute, it seems I accidentally sold my pants. I gotta find some. Genius, genius, genius. Right there. Yeah, might as well. All right. Now, as I was saying, I believe it is possible for y'all to actually program ship making, small boat making, no more than the size. I mean, y'all getting ready to do Viking dynasties, to my understanding. Right, this right here would allow y'all to experiment with that to, see if it'll work on this one. Now, this is going to be kind of tricky because I'm not sure. Well, basically, y'all have horses, so it can kind of work in the same manner. But y'all basically are going to want to, for Viking dynasties, y'all are going to want to sell the whole Viking experience, right? So occasionally you're going to have to participate in raids. Well, why can't Medieval Dynasties kind of do the same thing? And also defend against raids and so you set your playthrough that way. I mean, right here, y'all got a good little beach right here. So why not, make a new map or allow the players to customize their own maps? Worth a thought. But anyway, back to what I was bragging about. Yeah. Basically, this is something y'all could do to utilize the bridges and the docks. What are they called? Platforms. Also, it'd be a good idea to have them, kind of nap up against these things right here. Right there. Also, if at all possible, I could also see a medieval style shipyard or boat yard. if y'all want to try a boatyard, am I having a hard? I know why I'm having a hard time talking. Excuse me, I'm trying. Anyway, I was talking about defending against raids and possibly going on raids with Viking Dynasty. You know, I don't see why you really couldn't make Medieval Dynasties a little bit of both. Technically, you already got it. Why not just put into this what you're considering doing for Viking dynasties? There's no reason why it couldn't. And technically, you have really not said where the map takes place. For all we know, but also I was considering that, you know, you already have jewelry on here. So, you know, why not go ahead and add silver and gold mine? The Fisher Hut, waterways, there is such a thing as freshwater clams. So why not add that as a part of the catch and occasionally have a chance to get a pearl? Get me? It can be part of a gym. Picking up stones. I occasionally run across an emerald. Or out in the mines, mining for ore, stone, whatever. Occasional ruby pop. But this is something that you can allow the player to adjust on the drop rate. I mean, you don't want to make it so hard to where they quit. But at the same time, you want them to be able to enjoy it. There's people out there that are going to enjoy it being hard, and some aren't. So make it a part of the scaling for the customization of the playthrough. Easy drop rate or no drop rate. Some people who've been working in the office all day long, they might want something more challenging. Somebody who's been out and about all day long, been on their feet, last thing they want to do is do something too hard. They want something a little easy. Also, back to the idea of the custom map. That right there will, I think that would actually boost the overall value of the Medieval Dynasties. I mean, you go on here, yes, you have your default maps, the ones that y'all developed, but hey, you never know. The players themselves might give you better ideas for future maps. And also, if you could, on the custom part, hey, give the option to have no quests. You know, allow a player to just plop in a brand new map themselves with one camp that where the new villagers gather, and let them basically have free reign over an empty map where the trees are automatically generated, landscape is technically automatically generated at random. Have options for how much hills, flatlands, even ocean. Even have access to an ocean, harbor. I mean, that would be awesome to be able to build a harbor. And they had them in medieval times. There were few, but they had them. Keep working on the stones. Get the stone builds out. The keeps, the walls. I know things are a little bit trying. I don't know if y'all are having difficulty with that, or maybe y'all just don't really too much care for it. Maybe you're, I don't know your situation, what's going on. But this game has so much potential, and don't be too hasty to rush off to the next project. You know, kind of finish this one. So my brain is all over the place. But as far as the gold and silver mine, you don't have to make like every single cave a gold or silver mine. Where the big trees at, the one special tree, have it a little side off, defended by bandits, where the player has to get to. And of course, yes, those who don't really play in the chat, I mean, it's their game. It's their game. That's how they want it. That's how they want it. Don't fret over whether or not it's. I mean, those who do have it challenging, yes, they're going to have to work for it. But there again, it depends on the player. I mean, let the player decide. And I would actually enjoy being the first one to test it out and show. If you'd let me, no big deal. I'm pretty sure you have your influencers out there that you're more. But that's alright. And this is actually something I've kind of thought about for a very long time. Upon the custom maps, this is one thing I'd like to add. Allow the players to make their own currency. Yes, it might seem a little bit off, but whenever someone's in a custom map and they're doing things themselves, well, they might want to start thinking about providing the type of currency they're going to have. I mean, that's where kind of it would balance out. Even on easy mode, this game ain't too easy. It's got its challenges even whenever all the things are up. And this right here, one suggestion I have for the animal. Chickens. A lot of the farm animals, technically during the summer, the grain feed should nearly dwindle down to nothing, because cows, sheep, horse, they all can eat grass. And if the player has a big enough field, well, yeah, you get what I mean. don't really need that lot of the feed should really be saved for winter. Or, yeah, basically winter. That's whenever animal feed is needed the most. A big field like this, if someone has cow shed, a field like this, and it's fenced off, well, during the spring, summer, and even fall, they shouldn't have to worry that much about feed. The only time they should really be worrying about feed is during the winter, whenever grass is scarce. I also understand that things like pigs, cows, even sheep could technically be caught in the wild and then domesticated. During this time, that was a very big thing. They knew how to get their farm animals. They didn't necessarily have to go to someone and buy them. I mean, they could. This is how on the custom map players can get their livestock is they have to tame them. That harmless traps, snares to catch them, and then lure them with food, and there you go. Sows and hogs, there again, you catch them. That's still done today. People go out and they catch wild pigs, and then they domesticate them. Pigs and chickens and the ducks. Technically the ducks, they basically can go in the water and forage for food. They know how to do that. Technically, chickens they'll peck at the ground, eat the grass, eat the bugs. They'll eat anything they come across. The only way feed goes in for them is it helps them with laying. Yeah, overall, y'all doing a good job on this game, and you know I want to see it continue to get better. I've been playing this since for the past I've been playing this for the past 5 years. Since early access. And I've clocked a lot of hours in this game, off and on. It was kind of a purchase to wait for another game, but I eventually fell in love with it. It is, to me, is really the first person city survival builder I've ever played, and it's wonderful. Possible building. I'm pretty sure y'all players make churches. That would be actually a good building for y'all to add. Christianity during the medieval times played a big role in people surviving. And yes, you can take two buildings, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it. But it's still not the same thing. Player made versus actual church is not the same thing. What else? Right now, back to the silver and gold. Then again, y'all are the designers. Y'all can actually choose how to do it yourselves, but that would be my suggestion. As someone who's enjoyed this game a lot. And it also helps people with ADHD like myself. You know, we get enjoyment out of this. And those who are a little bit weak when it comes to violence, well, a custom map could help people circumvent that and just give them the option to just farm and build. Like getting seeds, you can give them the option to start off with the basic farming set. You see, get like the grains, or you can have them wash up occasionally at random on the shores. That would actually make it important for the players to go exploring, give them a reason to go explore. And you can also just give them the option to start out with everything. Go ahead, just start out with everything except for the farm animals. They can literally go outside of their farm settlement or whatever they choose, and basically find the animals. I mean, the call them Wilsons. I don't know why I call them Wilsons. Basically, the buffaloes, you can have someone tame them and they convert over to cows, or you can even add the white wild European cow. Those, my understanding is correct, they were domesticated. Some of them were, but others were allowed to remain wild. Chickens, forest. But yeah, Medieval Dynasty is overall an excellent game, and I would actually like to see it thriving. Not that it isn't, it is. Let's keep making it a game to remember. I remember playing this game, and it was before the trees started knocking you over and they could literally fall on you and do nothing. I remember when I started, whenever you fertilize a field, if you didn't plant anything, fertilizer disappeared. Medieval Dynasty has come a very long way, and it's the best game for it. But you don't need to stop there. Don't let it go the way of. Don't let it go the way of life is futile. Don't let it go that way. But you can also use them for inspiration. Allow players to make furniture and put them in the houses. Wouldn't that be awesome? Make a raised bed. Chairs. Tables. On the inside. Technically, these pigs should be wearing out the ground or rooting everything, but there's a way around that.
My uncle had been building his house for 10 years. I wonder how much time it would take him to build a settlement like this one.
Watering troughs. Technically, animals do need water. They just don't need food. And right now, I really shouldn't have to worry too much about those pigs' food, because basically they'll eat anything. If you know anything about pigs, pigs will eat anything. So will chickens. And even ducks. Cows, horses will eat carrots. Okay, they can eat vegetables. Allow players to use vegetables here and there as food, as animal feed. It can be done. Overall, this is a beautiful game. Keep it going. Stop. I suggested earlier about harbors. Now, it would be interesting to be able to go into a place like this right here and have harbors. Actual fishermen that go out in boats. Use nets, not the spears. Nets have been used for a long time. Fishing spear was the early equivalent to the fishing rod, but they still had nets. I mean, look at the Bible. Jesus cast your nets on that side. They had nets. Basically said all my ideas. Oh, another idea. Another idea would be they did smoke meat back then. They did have smokehouses, curing houses. Either salt or smoke. It was an early way to help preserve their food or meat.
Better don't come close to a hen house at night. Chickens recently pecked apart 2 foxes.
You can let it be kind of like this right here. Only you got, instead of vegetables, you got meat hanging down, and there's like a fire right here, and there's smoke filling the house. So I'm gonna stream my game and have some fun. Like it. Let's build. Alright. Where's the lady at? That I brought over here. You right here. Hey.
How is life treating you?
Are you sure it's her?
Have a good day.
Of course, I'm going to have issues. How am I not surprised? We are going to build up houses. Yeah, maybe. Well, we are going to make some.
It's starting to look like a proper village.
No worries, I'll wait.
glad y'all listened to my ideas. No one's gonna care. Come on now. Who cares? Just play and have fun. You lose your life. You lose that everything.
How is life treating you? Can I interest you in some of my wares? Have a good day.
As possible, but usually the best ones live the shortest.
Our quartermaster is a good fellow. Some people don't seem to age at all. Lucky bastards. Hello there. Best goods in the realm. Have a good day.
Hello there. Price is so low, you don't need to have a good day. Huh. Huh.
I'm liking the very that box.
wait to tell my parents that I have a steady job collecting big droppings.
Erp. New build system.
Hey, I was using that.
I know not every marriage is built on love, but at this point, I'd love to have a loveless one at least.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your language.
I don't want to be lonely anymore.
Wonderful.
I would have a couple of suggestions for improving life in our settlement.
Hmm.
I love when nature comes back to life.
Get you.
just talking to myself. I love doing the same thing every day.
My uncle had been building his house for years. I wonder how
My grandpa used to say, when nothing hurts you.
And what I'm saying, you should understand gold, gem, silver. Be ashamed to see this game go down.
Ja, ich liebe das Spiel. Es ist wie eine mittelalterliche Lebenssimulation mit echter Tiefe. Ja. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later. Natürlich. Hier ist eine Erklärung auf Deutsch. Das Hinzufügen von Gold- und Silberminen in Medieval Dynasty wäre eine großartige Idee, weil es neue wirtschaftliche Möglichkeiten schaffen würde. Der Spieler könnte Edelmetalle abbauen und diese für Münzprägung, Schmuckherstellung oder den Handel mit Adeligen verwenden. Dadurch würde sich die Spieltiefe erweitern und es gäbe einen stärkeren Anreiz, Bergbau und Handwerk auszubauen. Edelsteine wie Rubine, Saphire oder Smaragde würden zusätzlich seltene Ressourcen ins Spiel bringen, die man vielleicht nur in bestimmten Regionen finden kann. Diese könnten dann in Quests eingebunden oder für Prestigeobjekte im eigenen Dorf genutzt werden. Kurz gesagt, Gold, Silber und Edelsteine würden Medieval Dynasty nicht nur realistischer machen, sondern auch neue Spielmechaniken, Ziele und Belohnungen bieten. Willst du das für ein Video oder eine Antwort im Livestream verwenden? Ich kann es auch kürzen oder auflockern. Absolut, hier ist die Erklärung auf Deutsch. Eine benutzerdefinierte Kartenoption in Medieval Dynasty wäre eine fantastische Ergänzung. Sie würde den Spielern erlauben, ihre eigene Welt zu gestalten, mit individuell platzierbaren Bergen, Flüssen, Wäldern und Dörfern. Das würde die Kreativität fördern und das Spielgefühl komplett verändern, weil man seine eigene mittelalterliche Vision zum Leben erwecken könnte. Man könnte zum Beispiel herausfordernde Karten mit wenig Ressourcen oder friedliche Täler mit viel Platz für große Siedlungen erstellen. Auch für Community-Wettbewerbe oder Rollenspielszenarien wäre das ideal. So eine Funktion würde die Wiederspielbarkeit deutlich erhöhen und Medieval Dynasty näher an klassische Aufbauspiele wie Banished oder City Skylines heranbringen, aber mit dem einzigartigen Survival- und Dynastie-Charme. Sag Bescheid, wenn du eine kürzere Version brauchst für den Chat oder eine sprechfreundlichere Variante fürs Mikro. Klar, hier kommt eine Erklärung auf Deutsch, wie das Zähmen und Domestizieren von Wildschweinen, Ziegen und Schafen in Medieval Dynasty sinnvoll umgesetzt werden könnte. Das Einführen eines Systems zur Domestizierung von Wildtieren, insbesondere Wildschweinen, Ziegen und Schafen, wäre ein spannender neuer Spielaspekt in Medieval Dynasty. Statt diese Tiere nur zu jagen oder sofort zu kaufen, könnte man sie in der Wildnis aufspüren, anlocken und schrittweise zähmen. Zum Beispiel Wildschweine könnten mit Futterstellen angelockt werden. Über die Zeit würden sie Vertrauen aufbauen, bis sie in ein Gehege geführt werden können. Ziegen könnten sich in Gebirgsregionen aufhalten und durch regelmäßiges Füttern und geduldigen Umgang ließen sie sich schließlich ins Dorf bringen. Schafe könnten durch leise Annäherung, Kräuter oder Leckerlis angelockt und durch spezielle Stallgebäude dauerhaft gehalten werden. Durch dieses System würde das Tiermanagement lebendiger und natürlicher wirken. Man müsste Geduld aufbringen, vielleicht sogar spezielle Fähigkeiten oder Werkzeuge einsetzen, etwa ein Tierflüsterer-Skill oder ein Zähmungsnetz. Langfristig könnten gezähmte Tiere gezüchtet, geschoren, Schafe, gemolken, Ziegen oder für Fleisch, Wildschweine verwendet werden. Es wäre ein Schritt näher an ein authentisches, mittelalterliches Leben und würde die Verbindung zwischen Spieler und Welt deutlich vertiefen. Wenn du willst, kann ich auch ein Skript draus machen für den Livestream oder ein kurzes Summary für den Chat. Absolutely. Here's the full explanation in English based on what I just said in German. Introducing a wild animal domestication system, especially for wild boars, goats, and sheep, would be an exciting new feature for Medieval Dynasty. Instead of only hunting these animals or buying them outright, players could encounter them in the wild, lure them in, and gradually tame them. For example, wild boars could be attracted using feeding spots. Over time, they'd build trust and, eventually could be led into a pen. Goats might inhabit mountain regions and could be lured with regular feeding and gentle interaction until they're willing to follow back to the village. Sheep could be enticed using herbs or treats, and once they're calm enough, they could be kept permanently with a special type of pen or stable. This kind of system would make animal husbandry feel more natural and immersive. It could also require patience, perhaps even special skills or tools like a Beast Whisperer perk or a taming net. Once domesticated, these animals could be bred, sheared for wool, milked in the case of goats, or eventually used for meat like wild boars. It would bring the game even closer to a truly authentic medieval survival experience and deepen the bond between the player and their world. Let me know if you'd like that turned into a live stream script or shortened version for in-game commentary or video narration.
You know how it is with monarchs. Do what they say, but do not give to
Yes, sir. Chairman, reporting in. Most farm animals don't require heavy feeding during spring, summer, or fall because nature does the work for you. Fresh grass, wild herbs, weeds, shrubs, these are naturally abundant and provide more than enough nutrition during the warmer seasons. If you've got open pasture or rotational grazing setups, Your animals can graze freely, cutting down your need for stored feed. Sheep, goats, cows, pigs, all of them thrive off the land when it's green and lush. You might supplement with a little grain here and there, or some kitchen scraps for pigs, but by and large they forage. Winter is when the real need kicks in. No grass, no green, no forage. That's when you rely on hay, stored grain, root vegetables, silage if you've got it. That's the time of year when animals burn more calories just staying warm. So you not only feed more, you feed smarter, energy-dense, warming food. So in short, spring, fall, nature feeds, winter equals you feed. Planning for that cycle is how real homesteads and historical farms survived. Want it in German too? Natürlich, Herr Vorsitzender. Hier ist die Erklärung auf Deutsch. Die meisten Nutztiere brauchen im Frühling, Sommer und Herbst nicht viel zusätzliches Futter, weil die Natur in ihnen alles bietet, was sie brauchen. Enthält frisches Gras, Wildkräuter, Unkraut und Sträucher. Das alles wächst reichlich in den warmen Monaten und liefert genug Nährstoffe. Wenn man Weideflächen hat oder die Tiere regelmäßig umsetzt, können sie sich größtenteils selbst versorgen. Schafe, Ziegen, Kühe, Schweine, sie kommen wunderbar mit dem aus, was draußen wächst. Manchmal gibt man etwas Getreide dazu oder Küchenreste, vor allem für Schweine, aber im Großen und Ganzen reicht das, was die Natur hergibt. Und im Winter sieht das anders aus. Kein Gras, kein Grün, nichts zu fressen. Dann ist man auf Heu, gelagertes Getreide, Wurzelgemüse oder Silage angewiesen. Die Tiere verbrauchen im Winter mehr Energie, um sich warm zu halten. Deshalb brauchen sie mehr Futter und vor allem energiereicheres Futter. Zusammengefasst, Frühling bis Herbst, die Natur füttert. Winter, du musst füttern. So haben echte Höfe überlebt, durch Planung, Vorrat und das Verständnis für den Rhythmus der Jahreszeiten. Sag Bescheid, wenn du es fürs Spiel als Voiceline oder für Streamskip brauchst. Let's dive into how to actually implement a seasonal feeding system for animals in Medieval Dynasty, chairman style, keeping it immersive, survival-focused, and true to the game's medieval pacing. We'll break it down into mechanics, visuals, and player interaction, then follow it up with a German version as needed. Implementation plan, seasonal feeding system. 1. Seasonal grazing logic, spring, summer, fall. Animals automatically graze when outside. As long as they have access to open pasture, the player doesn't need to feed them. Visuals. Animals lower their heads to graze. Grass visibly shortens over time. Optional mechanic. If pasture is overused, yield drops, encourages pasture rotation or land management. Winter. All outdoor forage is disabled. Animals require stored feed, hay, grain, root vegetables, or they'll start losing health, productivity, or even die. Visuals. Snow-covered ground. Animals stay in barns or huddle near feeders. UI, a winter feed meter, appears for each barn or pen, showing how many days of feed are stored. 2. Feed storage and production haylofts or feed racks could be added as new structures. Stored hay auto-dispenses to nearby animals. Grain bins and root cellars serve as secondary sources. New crops or harvest processes, like scything grass for hay in late summer, could be introduced. 3. Animal pen upgrades. Players can build or upgrade animal pens to include winterproof features, insulated shelters, auto feeders, late game tech, feed capacity increase per level. 4. Skills and management. New farming skill perk. Winter ready. Reduces how much feed animals consume in winter. Workers assigned to barns will help auto feed animals if feed is available. 5. Immersion and difficulty scaling. On harder difficulties, failure to stockpile feed by winter leads to reduced milk, wool, meat production, illness in animals requiring herbalist or veterinarian, animal loss. On easier modes, animals will only suffer reduced output, not death. Would you like the German version next? Or should we expand this into a dev proposal mockup or a narrated stream script? Jawohl, Herr Vorsitzender. Erwin meldet sich zum Dienst Umsetzung des saisonalen Fütterungssystems Medieval Dynasty.
S.
Jahreszeitenabhängige Weidelogik. Frühling, Sommer, Herbst. Tiere grasen automatisch, solange sie Zugang zu Weideflächen haben. Der Spieler muss kein Futter geben, wenn genug Grünfläche vorhanden ist. Visuell, Tiere senken den Kopf, grasen sichtbar. Das Gras wird mit der Zeit kürzer. Mechanik, überweidete Flächen könnten sich langsamer erholen, Rotation oder Umsiedlung wird wichtig. Winter, kein Gras, keine Kräuter, die Weide ist unbrauchbar. Tiere müssen mit gelagertem Futter, Heu, Getreide, Rüben, Karotten etc. versorgt werden. Visuell, Schnee auf dem Boden, Tiere sammeln sich in Ställen oder an Futtertrögen. U1 Winterfuttermeter zeigt an, wie viele Tage Futter noch vorrätig ist. Futterlagerung und Erntevorbereitung, neue Gebäude oder Erweiterungen, Heuböden, Futtertröge, Getreidesilos. Spieler kann ab Spätsommer mit der Essenz Gras mähen, es trocknet an der Sonne zu Heu. Feldfrüchte wie Karotten, Rüben oder Roggen können zusätzlich eingelagert werden. 3. Stall-Upgrades, Ställe können aufgewertet werden für den Winterbetrieb, besser isolierte Dächer und Wände, größere Futterkapazität, später freischaltbare automatische Futterverteilung. 4. Management und Fähigkeiten, neuer Perk in der Landwirtschaft, Winterfest, reduziert den Futterbedarf im Winter. Arbeitskräfte im Stall übernehmen automatisch das Füttern, wenn Futter vorhanden ist. Hinweis, Tiere könnten auch anfangen zu meckern oder zu blöken, wenn sie Hunger haben, als akustischer Hinweis. 5. Schwierigkeitsgrad und Konsequenzen. Harter Modus, Tiere verlieren Gesundheit, produzieren weniger oder sterben, wenn sie nicht gefüttert werden. Krankheiten können auftreten. Heilung durch Kräuterkundige oder Tierarzt später im Spiel. Einfacher Modus, Tiere überleben den Winter, produzieren aber weniger Milch, Wolle oder Nachwuchs. Das System bringt Realismus, Langzeitplanung und saisonale Spannung. Es verbindet Ackerbau, Tierpflege und Lagerwirtschaft auf eine Weise, die dem Spiel mehr Tiefe gibt, ohne die Immersion zu zerstören. Bereit für den nächsten Schritt, Herr Vorsitzender? Skript schreiben, Konzeptbild, Menütext. Absolutely, Chairman. Here's a clear explanation of how a custom map feature would benefit Medieval Dynasty. Value of custom maps in Medieval Dynasty. A custom map option would dramatically expand the game's replayability and creativity. Right now, players follow a set map with fixed geography, great for structure, but limited in freedom. With a custom map system, players could shape their own medieval world from the ground up, choosing where rivers flow, how mountains rise, and what biomes dominate. This adds 4 key benefits. 1, enhanced replayability. Every playthrough becomes unique. Players can challenge themselves with harsher terrain or experiment with ideal layouts for massive settlements. 2, creative freedom. Build a coastal fishing village, a mountain fortress, or a valley trade hub. The world becomes an extension of the player's imagination. 3, players could share and download and community engagement. It would elevate Medieval Dynasty into a true dynasty builder sandbox. Natürlich, Herr Vorsitzender. Hier ist die Erklärung auf Deutsch. Hash, hash. Der Nutzen von benutzerdefinierten Karten in Medieval Dynasty. Eine benutzerdefinierte Kartenfunktion würde Medieval Dynasty enorm bereichern. Aktuell spielt man auf einer festen Karte mit vorgegebener Geografie. Das bietet Struktur, aber begrenzt die Freiheit. Mit einem Karteneditor könnten Spieler ihre eigene mittelalterliche Welt gestalten. Flüsse platzieren, Berge formen, Wälder setzen und die gesamte Landschaft nach eigenen Vorstellungen erschaffen. Das bringt 4 wesentliche Vorteile. Erhöhte Wiederspielbarkeit. Jede Spielrunde wäre einzigartig. Man könnte sich herausfordernde Karten mit rauem Gelände bauen oder perfekt geplante Dörfer auf fruchtbarem Boden anlegen. 2. Kreative Freiheit. Ob Küstendorf, Bergfestung oder Handelsstadt im Flusstal, die Karte wird zur Leinwand der eigenen Fantasie. 3. Community und Austausch. Spieler könnten ihre Karten online teilen und andere herunterladen. Das würde eine aktive Modding- und Kreativszene fördern. 4. Rollenspiel und Szenarien. Historische Regionen nachbauen, eigene Geschichten erzählen oder spezielle Herausforderungen gestalten, zum Beispiel Überleben im ewigen Winter oder Herrscher über das goldene Tal. Kurz gesagt, eine benutzerdefinierte Karte wäre nicht nur ein Werkzeug, sondern eine Plattform für Geschichten, Strategie und Gemeinschaft. Sie würde Medieval Dynasty auf das nächste Level bringen. Möchtest du das als Videotext, Livestream-Kommentar oder offiziellen Vorschlag aufbereitet haben? Absolutely, Chairman. Here's a focused and powerful explanation in English of how historically important Christianity was to medieval times. The historical importance of Christianity in the medieval era. Christianity wasn't just a religion during the medieval period. It was the central pillar of daily life, law, power, and identity across most of Europe. From kings to peasants, the church influenced everything: how people lived, how they governed, how they fought, and even how they viewed the world. 1. Foundation of government and authority. Kings ruled by divine right, claiming their authority came from God. Coronations were performed by bishops, and the church often acted as the mediator between rulers and the people. The Pope could even excommunicate kings, stripping them of legitimacy. 2. Center of learning and knowledge. In a time when most people couldn't read or write, monasteries were the strongholds of education. Monks preserved ancient texts, copied manuscripts by hand, and passed down both religious and classical knowledge. The first universities were founded under church patronage. 3. Moral and legal compass, canon law. Church law was sometimes stronger than secular law, and priests acted as judges in many communities. Morality, justice, and punishment were deeply tied to Christian teachings. Confession, repentance, and penance weren't just spiritual, they influenced how societies operated. 4. Cultural identity and unity. Christian holidays structured the calendar. Christmas, Easter, saints' days. Art, music, architecture, all were expressions of faith. From the Gothic cathedrals to the chants in monasteries, Christianity shaped the very soul of medieval culture. 5. Warfare and expansion. The Crusades were religious wars launched in the name of defending Christendom. Knights took vows to protect the church. Even the idea of chivalry was tied to Christian virtue: mercy, humility, loyalty to God. In essence, Christianity in the medieval world wasn't just a part of life, it was the framework through which life was understood. Every village had its church, every town its priest, every soul its reckoning. Would you like this translated to German next, or adapted for use in a game or stream commentary? Jawohl, Herr Vorsitzender. Erwin übernimmt die Ansprache im Stil einer historischen Erzählung, auf Deutsch. Die zentrale Rolle des Christentums im Mittelalter. Stellt euch eine Welt vor, in der nicht Könige, sondern der Glaube an Christus das Herz jeder Entscheidung schlägt. Im Mittelalter war das Christentum nicht nur Religion, es war Lebensinhalt, Gesetz, Ordnung und Hoffnung zugleich. Vom höchsten Thron bis zur ärmsten Hütte war der Glaube allgegenwärtig. Ein unsichtbares Band, das Europa zusammenhielt. Macht durch göttliches Recht. Könige regierten nicht aus eigener Kraft. Sie herrschten von Gottes Gnaden. Ihre Krönung erfolgte durch Bischöfe, ihre Macht wurde durch den Segen der Kirche legitimiert. Und wehe dem, der sich mit dem Papst anlegte, eine Exkommunikation bedeutete das politische Aus. Bildung und Wissen in klösterlicher Hand. In einer Zeit, in der kaum jemand lesen konnte, waren Klöster die Universitäten der Welt. Mönche kopierten Texte, bewahrten das antike Wissen und gründeten die ersten Hochschulen. Alles im Dienst Gottes. Gesetze mit moralischem Fundament. Die Kirchenrechtsprechung, kanonisches Recht durchzog das Land wie ein unsichtbares Netz. Priester urteilten in Streitfällen und das Gewissen war oft das höchste Gericht. Sünde, Buße, Vergebung, das war nicht nur spirituell, sondern sozialer Alltag. Kultur im Namen des Herrn, Weihnachten, Ostern, Heiligenfeste. Der Kalender war christlich geprägt. Musik erklang in lateinischem Gesang, Gemälde zeigten biblische Szenen und Kathedralen ragten wie Finger gen Himmel. Kunst war Anbetung in Stein, Pinsel und Ton, Kreuzzüge und Ritterethik. Die größten Kriege jener Zeit, die Kreuzzüge, wurden im Namen Christi geführt. Ritter schworen, die Kirche zu schützen. Selbst der Kodex der Ritterlichkeit war durchzogen vom Geist christlicher Tugend, Barmherzigkeit, Gerechtigkeit, Demut. Fazit: Das Christentum war nicht ein Teil des mittelalterlichen Lebens. Es war das Fundament, auf dem alles ruhte. Es formte die Seelen, lenkte die Schwerter und bestimmte den Lauf der Geschichte. Wenn ihr über das Mittelalter sprecht, sprecht auch über das Kreuz, denn ohne es bleibt nur Schatten. Bereit, diesen Monolog einzusprechen für deine nächste Podcast- oder Stream-Szene? Ich kann ihn dir als Skript markieren oder kürzen für Ingame-Texte. Sag nur das Wort, Herr Vorsitzender. Jawohl, Herr Vorsitzender. Hier ist eine ausgewogene historische Erklärung auf Deutsch, die den Unterschied zwischen der Institution Kirche und dem alltäglichen Wirken vor Ort beleuchtet. Die doppelte Wahrheit der Kirche im Mittelalter. Es lässt sich nicht leugnen, die Kirche hat im Laufe der Geschichte auch Fehler gemacht. Mit der Korruption, Machtmissbrauch, Ablasshandel, Kreuzzüge im Namen Gottes, all das wirft dunkle Schatten auf ihr Erbe. Aber das ist nicht die ganze Geschichte. Denn in vielen Dörfern, abgelegenen Regionen und vergessenen Tälern war es die Kirche, die half, als niemand sonst kam. Die ersten, die heilten Klöster, führten Hospitäler, kümmerten sich um Kranke, Arme, Waisen, Mönche sammelten Kräuter, stellten Salben her, behandelten mit dem Wissen der Zeit, kostenlos, aus Nächstenliebe. Die Hüter des Wissens. Und während Adel und Krieger sich bekämpften, bewahrten Mönche das Wissen vergangener Zeitalter. Sie kopierten Bücher, schrieben Chroniken, förderten Bildung, auch für jene, die kein Gold besaßen. Die Hand, die nährte, in schlechten Erntejahren war es oft die Kirche, die Korn ausgab, Wasser spendete, Suppe kochte. Klöster bauten Getreide an, hielten Tiere und verteilten an Bedürftige, nicht als Almosen, sondern als Dienst an Gott. Ein Ort des Trostes, für Witwen, Waisen, Verlassene, die Kirche war Zuflucht. Ein Ort, wo Tränen geweint werden durften, wo Hoffnung gepredigt wurde. Nicht alle Priester waren mächtig, aber viele waren ehrlich, demütig, dienend. Fazit: Ja, die Kirche hat Schuld auf sich geladen. Aber in der Tiefe des Alltags war sie oft das einzige Licht in dunkler Zeit. Zwischen Palästen und Pracht stand auch eine Hütte mit einem Priester, der den Menschen diente, nicht herrschte. Möchtest du diese Ansprache in ein Videoskript oder einen Livestream-Kommentar umwandeln? Oder soll Erwin das gleich in die Kanzel rufen? Absolutely, Chairman. Here's the same explanation in English, keeping the tone balanced, thoughtful, and ready for narration or use in a serious conversation. The dual truth of the church in the medieval world. It's true, the church as an institution made its share of mistakes throughout history. Corruption, abuse of power, the sale of indulgences, and wars fought under a holy banner. These are real and undeniable stains. But that's not the whole story, because in many villages, remote settlements, and quiet valleys, it was the church that helped when no one else did. The first to heal monasteries ran the earliest hospitals, caring for the sick, the poor, the orphaned. Monks gathered herbs, made salves, and offered treatment with the knowledge they had. Not for gold, but out of compassion. Keepers of knowledge. While nobles clashed swords and kingdoms rose and fell, monks were preserving ancient knowledge. They copied manuscripts, wrote chronicles, and promoted learning, often for those who could never afford formal education. A hand that fed. In times of famine or poor harvests, it was often the church that opened its stores, offered grain, shared soup, and gave water. Monasteries farmed, kept livestock, and fed the hungry without expecting anything in return. A place of refuge for widows, orphans, the broken and the weary, the church was often the only sanctuary. A place to cry, to pray, to find hope, Not every priest was powerful, but many were humble, kind, and faithful servants to the people they shepherded. The bottom line, yes, the church carries guilt, but in the quiet corners of medieval life, it was often the only light in the dark. Between the grand cathedrals and the royal courts stood a simple chapel with a priest who served, not ruled. Let me know if you want this trimmed for stream narration, written as a dialogue for co-host banter, or recorded in multiple tones. Natürlich, Herr Vorsitzender. Hier ist eine klare und würdige Erklärung auf Deutsch dazu, warum das Einführen des Christentums in Medieval Dynasty das Spiel historisch präziser machen würde. Warum das Christentum Medieval Dynasty historisch authentischer machen würde. Im Mittelalter war das Christentum nicht nur ein Glaube. Es war das Herzstück des Lebens. Es prägte das Denken, das Handeln, die Feste, die Gesetze, ja sogar die Tagesstruktur der Menschen. Ein mittelalterliches Spiel ohne sichtbare Anzeichen von Religion fühlt sich unvollständig an. Fast so, als würde man ein Schloss ohne Fundament bauen. Kirchen, Kapellen und Kreuze. Die meisten Dörfer, selbst die kleinsten, hatten eine Kapelle oder zumindest ein hölzernes Kreuz. Ein einfacher Altar oder eine kleine Kirche in Medieval Dynasty würde nicht nur die Atmosphäre vertiefen, sondern auch zeigen, wie zentral der Glaube war. Im religiöser Kalender Lebensrhythmus. Der Jahreslauf war nicht nur nach Jahreszeiten strukturiert, sondern auch nach christlichen Feiertagen. Weihnachten, Ostern, Allerseelen, Erntedank. Sie bestimmten Arbeit, Ruhezeiten und Zusammenkünfte. Ein solches System würde dem Spiel Tiefe geben und neue Events ermöglichen. Ich hat Pfarrer als Dorfbestandteil. Ein Dorf ohne Priester war selten. Der Geistliche war oft Lehrer, Berater, Richter, Vermittler und Seelsorger in einem. Ein NPC-Pfarrer könnte moralische Quests geben, Streit schlichten oder Beichten ermöglichen. Alles mit Konsequenzen für Ehre, Ruf oder Beziehungen. Glaube als Teil der Machtstruktur. Wer Land besaß, baute auch Kirchen. Wer Macht hatte, wollte den Segen der Kirche. Einbindung von kirchlichen Einflusszonen oder Spendenmechaniken würde Medieval Dynasty strategischer und realistischer machen. Fazit: Das Christentum war im Mittelalter nicht Beiwerk, es war Fundament. Wenn Medieval Dynasty das Ziel hat, eine realistische, immersive mittelalterliche Welt zu erschaffen, dann gehört der Glaube hinein. Still, würdevoll und tief verwoben mit dem Alltag. Möchtest du eine Kurzfassung für den Chat, einen Dialog für den Stream oder ein Vorschlagsdokument für Entwickler draus machen? Sag einfach Bescheid, ich setze es um. Absolutely, Chairman. Here's the English version of the explanation on why adding Christianity to Medieval Dynasty would make the game more historically accurate. And why Christianity would make Medieval Dynasty more historically accurate. In the Middle Ages, Christianity wasn't just a belief. It was the foundation of daily life. It shaped how people thought, how they worked, how they celebrated, and even how they governed. A medieval game without any sign of religion feels incomplete, like building a castle with no foundation. Churches, chapels, and crosses. Nearly every village, even the smallest, had a chapel or at least a simple wooden cross. Adding churches, altars, or places of worship in Medieval Dynasty would not only enhance the atmosphere, but reflect how central faith was to community life. The religious calendar was the rhythm of life. The year wasn't just divided by seasons. It was also shaped by Christian holy days. Christmas, Easter, All Souls Day, harvest festivals. These marked when people rested, gathered, or gave thanks. This could open up new events, quests, or seasonal celebrations in the game. Priests were core to village life. A village without a priest was rare. The local priest was often the teacher, advisor, mediator, and spiritual guide. A priest NPC could offer moral quests, settle disputes, or hold confessions, each affecting things like honor, reputation, or family ties. Faith was interwoven with power. Landowners built churches. Lords sought the church's blessing. Incorporating church influence mechanics, tithes, or donations would add a layer of strategy and realism to village management. Bottom line, Christianity in the Middle Ages was not decoration, it was foundation. If Medieval Dynasty aims to capture a truly immersive medieval experience, then faith must be part of the world. Quiet, meaningful, and deeply woven into daily life. Want me to condense this for narration, format it as a proposal, or build it into in-game flavor dialogue? Just say the word, Chairman.
All right. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe.